Welcome to IT Talk. All right, so in this video, we begin to explore the magic of Microsoft Excel VBA and Advanced Analytics for Business. So in this module, we'll explore why VBA matters in business analytics. We'll tour the Visual Basic Editor, and we'll record your first macro. Let's jump right into it. So let's open up Excel. The very first thing we need to do is save our document as an Excel macro-enabled document. This is important, so we want to do it right away before we record our first macro. So just click File, Save As, and in the drop-down, select Excel Macro-Enabled Workbook and click Save. Now we are ready to record our first macro. Okay, so we have a blank Excel workbook. Let's consider our use cases for the macro that we are going to record. As a data analyst, business analyst, or project manager, you're often dealing with big data. In support of a financial institution, you may often receive large data sets that need to be formatted. So let's discuss that as a use case. Bulk data formatting. So let's say you have some raw data and you'd like to format it. As a matter of fact, each time you work with this data set, you will have to perform the exact same tasks to format it. Some of that formatting may be for you and your preference. Like maybe you prefer a certain font and a certain color, and some of it may be required for a process or a system that requires, for example, how dates need to be formatted, or some other kind of data integrity control. For a few lines of data, it may not be noticeable how much time is being exerted performing these tasks manually. But when the lines of data are in the hundreds or thousands, using macros is going to be way more efficient. Something that would have taken you like 42 minutes manually can be done in seconds with macros. Automation is powerful for efficiency. So for this exercise, I already have a data set that I've prepared to help us. If you want to make this more interactive, click the link in the description to download the data set. Now, as you can see, this is a raw data set. Oftentimes, the first thing you want to do when you have a data set like this is start opening the columns so you can see the information. Let's record a macro that simply does that. Because again, our data set has 10 columns, but sometimes you have data that comes with 100 columns. In that case, trust me, it's easier to record a macro one time that adjusts all the columns, and then just run that macro every time you work with that 100-column data set. So first, we click View, which is where you find the Macros button. Click it and click on Record Macros. Once you click Record, start performing the tasks you want to be repeated. In this case, we will expand the columns to fit the data, allowing more visibility. So I'm just going to start double-clicking the line to the right of the column I want to expand. The macro is already recording all the keystrokes, mouse moves, clicks, until I click Stop Recording. I'm just also going to center the data just for my own preference. That will also be in the macro. So basically, the macro will automatically expand the columns and center the text in the sheet. After this, we will open the Visual Basic Editor and take a quick look at the macro code. But first, we have to click Stop Recording to end the macro. All right, cool. Let's celebrate our first milestone. We just banged out our first macro together, which is so awesome. All right, now let's talk about a few shortcuts to navigate to our new macro. So Excel usually offers multiple different ways to get the same task completed. So what we're going to do to view our macro is we can use Alt F8 to view our macros. From there, a sub-window opens with a few options. You'll see Run, Step Into, Edit, Delete, and Options. Run will execute the macro. Step Into will execute it in steps so you can see where any errors are. Edit will allow you to edit the code as needed. So let's go ahead and click Options. They really should call it Option since there is only one thing you can do here, and that's create a keyboard shortcut. We're all about efficiency and speed, so the shortcut is essential, especially when you start having several macros that you run in a day. So go ahead and enter lowercase r so that Ctrl R will execute our macro. Clicking Edit or Step Into are both going to open the Visual Basic Editor, which is also possible by clicking Alt F11. Once you open the editor, you have other options. So for me, I normally like to protect my code, especially if it's a shared document. I do this so that I can protect the integrity of the code and prevent unintentional errors. Someone could alter the code by accident, but if they can't access the code without a password, that won't happen. Lots of cool things you can do with your spreadsheets here in the Visual Basic Editor. I used to put an expiration date on all my sheets too, just to help with version control. If I improved a sheet, then I wanted to ensure that everyone had the latest version, so the expiration date disallowed the use of older versions after a certain time. But yeah, this is where you come to view the macro and make changes as needed. This is also where you come to write a module from scratch. All right, let's flip back to the worksheet. Push Alt F11 again to flip back. As you can see, I went on and added a third sheet with the raw data. I also added some tab colors. All we need to do now is just run our macro, and it will format the data within a second. This third tab has the raw data, and we will run the macro by using our shortcut we created in Options under View Macro, which is Ctrl R. So notice that after I write this and then shrink the column, you won't be able to see the entire cell. To correct this within the same macro, you could actually go in and edit the code. All right, I pushed Ctrl R. Let's run the macro and see if it performs the tasks we intend, which is expand each column and center the data. And it did. Nice. We did it. In the next video, I'll show you how to correct the other two columns by editing the code. Until then, be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out our other videos. If you have questions or have other ideas for videos, comment below.